Bring the family, sacrifice a lamb or something. It'll be fun.
Hello, and welcome back to the Next to Last Word.
Hello, our weekly show where we look back Tuesday to Tuesday at important events and stories from the week. Top stories this week are U.S. missile strikes on Iran. Psychiatrists, psychologists, and social workers speak about Donald Trump's mental stability. It's the usual fun bit of things. It's the normal. Seems like every week it's still the war. The U.S. strikes on Iranian missile sites might put stress on the peace talks. Just a theory. Strange here again because we obliterated all of their missile sites on day one. Remember? Remember how that happened? And yeah, it is tough to have any meaningful peace talks while you're simultaneously breaking a ceasefire agreement. Which brings us to our next very much related topic. It's actually in the news again. I just saw this yesterday about the 37 psychiatrists and social workers, say that 10 times fast. They signed an open letter stating that Trump's grave emotional instability makes him incapable of serving safely as president. It's like, yeah, that sounds relevant, right? We'll talk about that. That's from 2017. So I guess we can say it was around 2017 where we officially stepped off the intelligent superhighway and decided to just be stupid and discount science and professionals and just go with superstitions and boogeyman philosophy. Because between 2018 and 2020, hundreds of clinicians signed petitions saying that Trump is unfit. And more recently, a new wave of letters has started about Trump's cognitive fitness or lack thereof, and we're all seeing it in real time. Trump's statements have become increasingly homoerotic. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he's gay. It just means that he likes to assert control over people, which also falls in line with his pedophilia and his need to demean people and feel superior to people that he has no business feeling superior to. It's because he's a malignant narcissist. These clinicians are not supposed to be diagnosing Trump. It's not an official diagnosis. These are just observations because mental professionals cannot make any sweeping judgments of people until they actually interview them one-on-one. And of course, Trump's never going to submit to that. Also related topic to that, the stupid people have taken over. While it's increasingly obvious that it's a cult, it's not a political party, and it hasn't been for quite some time. We need to keep referring to them as cultists so that they're aware that they are cultists, because a lot of them are not. A lot of them really just completely gone. So we need to keep reminding them that the Democrats, not as Democrats or liberals, but as the normal people or everybody else, right? We need to make that differentiation between the Trump cultists and everybody else, because that's what it really is now. It's not even just the Democrats, because the independents like myself, I'm not a Democrat, we're all against Trump, and everyone else in the world is against Trump. I've tried to think of anyone who would actually be in favor of Trump. All I could come up with is Benjamin Netanyahu, right? He's like literally the only person in the world that might like Trump. And even that, is probably superficial because he really only likes what Trump is doing for him. Melania does not even live at the White House, okay? Nobody actually likes Trump. They don't like him. They're walking on eggshells around him and they're looking to please him so that he doesn't excommunicate them, because we all know that's the worst thing that can happen to a cultist is they get forced out of the cult and they are disgraced. They're all just trying to avoid being disgraced by Trump. And the whole scenario is stupid. I get that. I know that. But the problem is they don't. And they're in charge right now. And yeah, I feel like I'm living in that dystopian Big Brother society. I also saw there was an interview with one of Elon Musk's baby's mamas, who was a Republican influencer, a cultist influencer. And she's saying that Elon Musk, well, she hinted at the fact that Elon stole the election for Trump in 2024, that Kamala actually won, which would make some sense because, how does the Democratic Party lose to Donald Trump, who at that point was a convicted felon? He was liable of sexual abuse. That would be the end of the story right there. Sorry. Those things should not be acceptable in our politicians. It would be important for people, whenever possible, to make that separation. They are cultists. They are worshipers of Trump, which Trump may be sick also. He was supposed to be going to see the doctor today. Annual checkup, the third annual checkup this year. Figure that out. So that might be a good sign. But don't worry, Trumpers. You can still go worship his gold statue down at Mar-a-Lago. You can make a pilgrimage. It'll be fun. Bring the family. Sacrifice a lamb or something. That's how bad it is. It is that bad, and they need to be called out. Constantly. You're in a cult, and the normal people, aka the rest of the people in the world, have a problem with that. They take great joy in hurting the liberals, even to the point where it hurts themselves at the same time, by not referring to the other people as liberals or Democrats, because those are both trigger words to the cultists. They're stupid. The stupid people are ruling, and they don't even care how much it destroys the country as long as it hurts the liberals. It reminded me of a story it was actually from a ghost hunting show. And if you ever watch those shows, they usually have a story that goes along with a particular building as to why it's haunted. These people were investigating a house, and they were being given a tour by, the homeowner. And they're telling them, well, the family that lived here, this was back in like the 1800s or something, they had a daughter that was mentally challenged. And she had a crush on a boy up the road. However, the boy did not admit to the fact that he didn't like her back. Instead, he said that her family would not let them be together. So, she killed her family with rat poison in their breakfast. That is the Republican Party today. The MAGA Republicans of today are killing the family with rat poison, and they're still not going to get what they want. And they don't even really know what they want. They only want to hurt. They only want to hurt the Democrats and the liberals. They have no agenda beyond that, I don't think. They don't see beyond that. Just like the mentally challenged girl in the story, who ended up, I believe, either going to jail or being executed. This is in the 1800s, man. They did not take care of people like that. And she had apparently written in her diary about it and was reveling in watching her family die as they were poisoned by rat poison. I looked it up on the Copilot. They didn't have any record of that. But, and these stories like that, when they're that old, they don't necessarily make it on the web. Maybe it happened. Maybe it's just an allegory. But it certainly is appropriate. And yeah, on a happy note, I want to end this because I feel like I'm always ranting about how stupid the MAGA Republicans are. That is the most important thing right now. We have to stop Trump from overthrowing the 2026 midterms. He's going to try. It's just a matter of how he's going to do it. And I'm going to keep hammering that one because it needs to be. We need to be aware of it. We need the local governments, the local and state governments to get out ahead of it and protect their polling places as well as they can, because Trump's going to pull out all the stops. Everything that he's done to this point says, I don't really give a shit about the elections. I don't really care if my party just collapses. He wants the Republican Party to collapse after he's gone so that he can feel like it was all because of him. That's part of the malignant narcissist in him. I don't want to keep anyone. So, hey, like, comment, subscribe, and take care. It is crazy out there.